Hello everyone, I am Ruth. I am your host and we're continuing to Space webinar series. Today we're going to do a little advanced topic with Stencyl. If you haven't ever worked with Stencyl before, you might want to go back and look at our DSpace YouTube page for our first Stencyl how-to video, because this one is going to be a little bit more advanced. That like if you come at this one at the first time ever, you're going to get really lost. So I highly suggest watching the first Stencyl video. Should just be like how to make a game in Stencyl. This one is going to focus on top down. The first one was platformer, so this one's going to build a lot more programming techniques rather than just setting things up in Stencyl. So we're going to go ahead and get started. A prerequisite of this is definitely having Stencyl already installed. I go there. So you have for requirements some knowledge of Stencyl or other game engines. Maybe you already know, some other type of thing like Game Maker and such. This Stencyl will be really easy for you. And another requirement is the starter file. So I have in the description on Facebook the project file on there. And basically when you click on that folder, bring up this window right here. It's just a drive file and it has like all these things in here. Like, wow, that's a lot of files in there. Well, Google Drive reads it as a zip file. It is not a zip file, but kind of is. It's like a package for Stencyl to find everything. So you don't want to install, like download individual things in here. You want to install the whole folder, download the whole folder, and install. Download the whole folder. Just go into the upper right here, click download. And just click download anyways, and it'll be on here. I already have it downloaded, so I'm just going to skip that for now. Close that. And then I'm going to go ahead and open Stencyl. So our goal today is, again, making a top-down RPG game, kind of like an old-style Legend of Zelda game, or the Spirit of Mana, where you got your character like walking around. You kind of see above their head, and they're slashing back like on things or picking up items and stuff like that. We might not have enough time to do item pickup because there's a lot of material to cover today in here. So maybe at the end there'll be time, hopefully, but we're just going to focus getting the character moving around and such. So when you have Stencyl open, you need to go ahead and import game. So when you open Stencyl, you have like your base projects in here that you've worked on any before. On the upper left area right over here is a thing called import game. So right here, just click import game, upper right at left. And for me, it's under my downloads folder. Might be a different location for you. Just find the location you have it downloaded in. I click open. Opening. There we go. So I'm going to do top-down RPG start. You see that there's other versions of it over here. That's the first version. I just made a starter template for everyone, so we don't have to spend so much time adding all the animations in, because that usually can take a huge chunk of time. So once you got it in there, just go ahead and double-click on it. Top-down RPG start. And you get like all these files in here. I already made 3 different scenes. If you've worked with Stencyl before with me from another video, you'll already know how to make levels and such. So I'm going to start with home scene here. Double click, it's got to start on it. So that means that's the starting scene right there. It's loading, trying to get it open. There we go. Here's our file. And then I'm going to go back to dashboard, actors, going to player, double clicking on player, opening, behavior. Okay, so basically this is just has the like levels down and some characters and animations imported, and also has a tile set on our starter file. But you notice that there's 2 different tile sets. That is because when I was designing the scenes, I have them on multiple layers, and based on the collisions, I want my character to walk over other things and not walk through some things. So I've made 2 different sets of tiles where one has collisions and one does not. So I don't have to deal with my character getting stuck in things or passing through everything. So this tile set here has collisions, the regular tile set, And I should have renamed it like tile set without collisions on tile set with collisions, but I didn't think about that. The other one right here is tile set 2, fix. I double click on that one. Loading. I click on these. You see that these have no collisions, but it looked like I missed a few. No collisions, there we go. But a lot of these, yeah, they got no collisions on them, so my character can just pass through them. Here we go. Okay, so here's our starting bit. We have designed a level, and we're gonna get our character moving. I click on my character right here. There they are on layer 1. I test game right now. Nothing's gonna happen, but we always wanna make sure that we are able to test our game. Because if we can't test our game, we won't be able to get very far with our project. So compiling is thinking, making sure nothing's broken. So compiling, so thinking. Now, if you're watching now, don't worry. This is being recorded. It will be available at a later time on YouTube or immediately after Facebook when I finish this. You can just go back to Facebook and rewatch it immediately after when it's done to follow along. And you'll also be able to stop and pause and how you go at your own pace. So don't worry about, like thinking like, oh, I'm rushing now, I gotta install things. It looks like, oh yeah. Oh, that's a crash right there. Unhandled security error. Can't load data from local host. That is weird. But there we go. So, oh, my character can move. I wonder if it's having an issue with the original version that I had. Silence thinking. Oh, I remember what I did now. Okay. So in this template, to save on time, I forgot I did this, is I programmed a lot of the movement. Just get us started here. Okay, so right here we can move our character up and down. You might have saw that there's a little number on top of our character because I added a debugger. Okay, so now we're gonna officially get started here. First thing we're gonna do is go to actors, double click on player to open them. And if you click on behavior, there's nothing there. But if I go to events, there it is. I go to events right here. You may see that I'm drawing, left press, right release, left release, right press, and up release. I have programmed a way to do movement, but if I uncheck all these boxes right here, if you've used Stencyl before, you might be thinking, why don't you just add a behavior for movement? Oh yeah, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna choose add behavior for movement, add, up for up, down for down, left for left, right for right. I'm just showing you guys this. I'm gonna delete this right away. But the reason why I programmed movement separately from four-way movement is because for attacking, was trying to override the animations during attack, and I could edit this behavior for four-way movement and change animations, but I don't want to change four-way movement so much if I add it to something else, it goes back to this character's animations and it gets confused about everything. So I made a different set of movement separately for my main player instead of like going with behavior forming movement. And that, of course, took more time because there's a lot of repetitive work you have to do there. You have to program your left movement and your right movement. And there we go. See, now I'm moving just fine, but no animations kind of going through here. My character's really tiny, so it's hard to see. I could increase my character size, but it's all right for the size. Yeah, they're just moving around just fine. I see this error that just keep coming up is because of security reasons. So I am gonna go ahead and close Stencyl and reopen it. Don't save. I'm gonna go for my folder here. I apologize for this. It's just, this didn't happen before, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to program files. If you always wonder where Stencyl is, it's usually within the programs file 86 or the other like program files folder. There it is, Stencyl. Right click on it so I can run as administrator. Okay. So you can go ahead and go to actors and click on, like delete behavior if you're out of that behavior, but click on events. So events is how we program in Stencyl. It is like Blockly. If you ever heard of Blockly before, it's like graphical, pretty code with like different blocks and words and then put together like a puzzle. It looks kind of like Scratch programming. This is very much inspired by that. Go ahead and move this behavior. So I'm going to go over it. It's very much inspired by that kind of thinking with drawing blocks together and fit them together. You can't put things that don't fit in the pieces together, so you can't break anything. Like this little thing right here, I can't drag it in. And you can always reach through events through actors or scenes. Scenes have separate events too you can program into it. And what you're doing when you're programming things to each object is that that code's only attached to that object, and unless you make a thing called global variables or other variables for to reach. Here, we're in our events. And on the left side here, I'm going to click check mark. Now, I already created some things here, so I'm going to pretend that we're doing something completely new here. I'm going to keep drawing unchecked. That was just my way to do some debug testing, you know, print screen, whatever it's letters and numbers. So to start here, blockly coding, like I said before, it's blocked together. Instead of typing things individually, like if I right click this view code, it's not the syntax type of code where you're typing characters and such, putting things together, brackets, making sure all the syntax matches and doesn't break anything because you forgot a semicolon or something. This together just kind of skips all that, so you're just focusing more on like the logic of coding rather than typing everything. So here, instead of having behavior left, right, up, and down, we just took all the keys and set a speed direction to them. So when you start coding, all these won't hear, and you like won't be able to drag things on the screen at all. Let me grab something that's got nothing on it. Show that example a little bit better. So I double click on treasure. I go to events. Every time I try to drag something up there, it deletes. It usually starts with this left side. And you like import your own thing here or find some art online. Left side here says add event to begin. So you can't add anything yet, so you have an event. So over here on the left side it says add event. We're gonna click on it. And when we click on it, we get all these different options for like starting events. If you've programmed before, you can't just open a script and start typing things in there and connecting things. You have to have like some type of thing that's initiating this action or this event. It has to be something initiating something else, no matter what, like basics with when creating, when you're drawing, when you're updating. For those who've never programmed before, you don't have to worry as much. Just like, gotta remember you gotta add something at first before you can start doing stuff with that thing you want to code in. So this one, we're gonna do input. Input is things like mouse clicks, touch screen, keyboard. So here if you hover over input, you see keyboard, any key, focus, click, on actor, on region, swipe, other things like that, or like keyboard, but controller settings down here. So we're gonna go with keyboard, universal first one, keyboard. There we go. And then we want to rename our event. That it says keyboard here, but we want to be very specific about what it is, or like when we come back to this years later, or like a few weeks later, we're looking through like, what is all of these keyboard events? How do I find which one is what? So we're going to rename this one. To rename it, we simply right click, click rename, and I'm going to call this down press. And I'm naming them specifically for when I push the keyboard button down and when I take my finger off the keyboard. So down, press. My changes, and I'm going to add another one. Input, key, right click, rename. I'm going to name it down release. My changes. Okay. So for down press, we're going to focus on this one first. On down press, we got a when conditional. So when this, do that. So when key is pressed down. So I'm going to click on control, choose down for the down arrow. Click OK. Is press, so we're going to press. Click on this, you can see the difference between the other. And then we want to change the speed of our character. I believe I said this on the last Stencyl project. So in our space, X and Y, if you've ever done like graphing math before, X and Y starts at the upper left. I wonder if I can do a new share. There we go, whiteboard. Here we go. So our space this is the upper left of the screen. I'm going to just draw a complete square here. This is the our space upper left of the screen. And the down and up is Y, and the left and right is X for our values. So we want to change our position, be able to make it look like it's moving left and right based on X and Y. Usually, when we start learning math, X and Y, 0, 0 for X and Y starts in the center. And this would be like positive one way, negative the other. So above the flat axis, positive Y, below is negative Y, right is positive X, and left is negative X. This is the opposite. We start in the upper left here because we want to make sure like people with like screens and stuff, we always look at the upper left first and then go down to the right and lower left. In the like United States specifically. Other countries may have different habits, but it kind of became standardized to start with the upper left. So right here, as I go this way, this is positive, that way's positive. And if I go up this way, it's negative. If I go left here, it's negative. So if I want to go towards this way, I want to go in a positive X. So this right here is 0, comma, 0. And if I go this way, maybe I want to do plus 15 that way. Okay, so now I'm going to illustrate this idea right here. So new share, screen 1, there we go, here. So what we need to do is grab the little thing on the right side here. This is our toolbox. So in the middle space right here is our workspace. Left side is the events for adding new groupings. There's a trash can, drag in there, delete it. And then the right side over here, we got a search bar, so we can search things through here if we don't know where it is. And then we have these different little buttons here for different categories of code we can pull out. And then when I click on them, you notice right below, there's these little buttons here, conditional, loops, times. So it's like subfolders. Make sure these are folders of code and they all have subfolders in them that contain different things in there. And I'm just checking for questions again. So if we want to do something with our character, on Stencyl, our characters are named actors. So on the left over here, right over here, we're going to look for a folder that says actors. There it is. Click on actors. And look through here, you see that we get this little thing called position and then direction. If I click on motion, it changes the speed of our actors. So we can either change my position, but I'm going to change things by speed. So it's just increase speed for me to get my character to move around. And under speed here, we are going to change our speed in one's axis. So over here it says speed on the right side, set speed. Setting things is when we make changes to like things happen. Getting things is just getting the past data on something and like making references to it with something else. So most of these like things have like a little divot in the block in here. It's not a true rectangle here. It's got like a little thing. We know that we can slot that in to a conditional or starting block here. When we see this complete rectangle here, it says X speed of actor. If I grab it in, it won't fit into here. It doesn't snap in or anything. So I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna grab set speed, drag in here. There we go. So this is what it's like. If we set, we're going pressing the down key. We want to go down. So X is only for left and right. Y is for up and down. So you got to think a little bit. If I want to go down, what do I need to set? So set X speed here, click on that, Y speed, and we got to think, do we want a negative number or a positive number? Think negative. Remember how up the upper left upper corner is 0, 0, and as we go down it's positive, we go up it's negative. So we probably want to go to positive number here. If you click through the other action events in here, you see that there's like a number for these. For the press ones, negative 15, right press positive 15. So I set the speed to 15 on this character. You can change it to whatever speed you want. You're gonna learn how to make an attribute later, but we could, make this super easy and just have like an attribute that's set to 15. We just drag it everywhere. And then we would ever change that number, we just change the attributes number instead of change it everywhere. But I'm starting just, beginning right here. I'm gonna keep it really simple. So we're going down. I'm gonna keep it positive 15. There we go. Positive 15. And test game. Let's hope this time it doesn't spit back that error about changing global settings to a app data folder. Filing. Now, think about what we did here. We programmed down press. You press down, key, speed is set to 15. What's going to happen here? Think about what result you want when you test it. Okay. Wish I had like a keyboard recorder so you guys can see what keyboard presses I'm making. So I press down. I only pressed it once. I'm not touching the key anymore, and my character's still going down. I can go up, I have my hands up, nothing there, but I press down key, keeps going. There's that error again. I know it's probably something flash. There we go. Exit. So there we go. I'm going to continue to ignore the error right now because I don't care about the security in this. Right now it's a security error because I don't really have it on public at all. If I was on the public, like working on this publicly, I don't know, having an issue, but here. And I have that issue because I have another copy of this project and there's kind of like conflicting the other. Okay. So we need to get a way to release. So now I'm going to go to down release, the left side right here. When control, choose control, down, right there. I'm going to grab set speed. So right there, set Y speed. I'm going to set to 0. And make sure you gotta change the press part to release right there. And then test game. Yeah, the slowest part is testing. You have to like sit there and wait until it's done compiling. Stencyl's a little slower compiling. There's other game engines that are faster compiling, but Stencyl's just takes a bit. Okay, here we go. I'm pressing down and letting go. My character's stopping. Going this way, walking back and forth, going that way. And yeah, I can move around perfect, like pretty well. Yep. It's moving up. But if you look really close, it's going to be hard to see on the screen. I could make my character bigger, but then it will crash through everything. Like I'll get stuck between here to make my character bigger. But if I walk around, there's like animations of my character walking. But if I go down, there's no animation. So we need to add an animation here. So if you look at left press and left release, you see this little thing that says switch animation, walk left for self. Self is the actor you're working on. And if I go to left release, see idle left. You're wondering, what are these names coming from here? If I go to appearance, look at the left side here, these are the name of the animations we have set here. Idle right, idle left, idle left, idle right, left, right. If you're wondering why there isn't an up-down animation for this character, it's because I had a hard time finding a commercial-free licensed pixel art of a character going up and down for top-down. If you're trying to find some art to use, you can go to opengameart.org and find some commercial-free art to use there. And it's like searching on there, it's gonna be a little trouble. So I just kind of went for the first character I could find. And I just have left for up animation and right for my down animation here. But anyways, going back here, see the names here. So if you go text switch animation, it's gonna look a name in the animation of that actor and switch to it. So I'm gonna go ahead, go to events. I'm gonna go to down press here. And you're thinking, where can I find the animations of my actor? Well, it's gonna be on the actors folder on the right over here on a subfolder. So you go down, there's position, motion, properties, draw. It's gonna be under draw. Now draw can mean a bunch of different things, but they just added animations to here too. Draw is usually for drawing things on the screen. So kind of technically, yes, animation should be here. You see here under animation tab, get current animation actor, and the next one's rectangle for switch animations and actions. So it's got like a little divot that you can fit into other things. So switch animation for actor. Left click, drag it in. And if I click back to appearance, I'm looking for right down. So walk right will be the one I want to switch to. I'm going to click over here and name this walk right. And then I'm going to go to down release, grab switch animation, and do idle right. Now, this is character sensitive. So don't make anything capital at all. I mean, you could switch this to capital, but if I change one of the capitalizations in here or change like add no spaces in here, it's not going to switch to the right thing. This title here has to match what we have in the animation title exactly. Like if I add an extra space that left in the end here, and it's gonna like get confused about what's here, or this isn't exactly the same. So you have to be very careful how you type things. This goes with like regular type of, not regular, but like syntax type of coding, where you have to make sure everything matches the name exactly when you declare variables and such. Okay, now I'm compiling. Compiling. There it is. I'm gonna get that error again. Yeah, and I walk down and I got an animation. Characters walking back and forth, and I let go of the keys, the animation's not playing anymore. Press down the key, it's playing. And switch to my finished version, that keeps happening. I was thinking, why don't you just fix the error right now? Well, I'm in a webinar right now, and it's not really breaking my game right now, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just saving on time, just ignoring the error right now. Okay, so we just got movement in, and we got some animation in there too. If you want to switch the animation. So now we want to work on switching scenes. Luckily, we already have switching scenes in here. If I go to dashboard, scenes, double click on here. I kind of forgot to delete the scenes when I made the start thing, and I went, I'll just keep in there. If I click on events here, we already have an action for enters region. When player 1 enters region 0, it fades out and switches to another scene. Go to scene here. This is a new button here for those who only watched the other video Stencyl already. If you look on the left side here, below add column, below add stick joint, there's a little thing that says add region box. If I click on that, it like turns the screen gray. We have like a little box at the bottom right there. It's kind of hard to see it. I'm gonna click to a different mode real quick. Exit. There we go. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see it better. There we go. Click on the region box. You see right there, it says region 0. I go to inspector over here and I click on this region with my select tool at the top. It says properties region 0, the positions in it. So what this region does is that when this character touches that region, something happens. So it's like a trigger box if you've worked on the engineer. So when you touch this, it's like an invisible box that has, something else can happen here. I'm gonna create a new region box temporarily. You can go ahead and delete this, but we want to switch from this space to another. So I click add run right here. There it is. We got region 1 right here. Awesome. Now, region 1's got no code attached to it. So if I go to events right here, I have a little thing for enter region. Right here, there's nothing here for, this is only for region 0. So if I click add new event. Click add new event. And if I go to actors right here, no, that's not what we're looking for. There it is. So go to, it is under actors. I just look at the bottom. So if you go actors and go all the way down, you see enters or leave or region. You can do a specific actor or type of actors or member of a group. So it can be multiple actors, but you do specific actor, it goes when. So I click when, choose actor, and it points at the scene. I'm gonna pick my main character, enters the region. I'm gonna do choose region. It shows 2 regions here. I'm gonna click region 1. And you think, okay, I want something to happen here. I want them to leave scene. So here on the right side, I'm thinking, I wanna do something with my scenes. Oh, I click on the scenes folder. I click on the scenes folder here. It just has things for actors. I'm gonna switch to game flow. That's the second tab here. And I can switch scenes. So I just grab switch scene with a fade. I could go with one without a fade, but I'm just going with a fade. I'm gonna do 0.1 second. So it's gonna be super fast. And click scene, choose scene. I'm gonna have it switch to my test scene. So fade out and test game. So that's how you make a region. So I already have one made on that starter file for each of them. So you don't have to go ahead and create like a region for all of this. But you can use regions for multiple things. It doesn't have to be just for leaving scenes and moving the other. It could be like when you go across this region, spawn this bunny that pops out of the ground over here, or make an event happen where someone walks up and starts talking to you and have text on the screen. So it's just picture it as like a trigger box if you ever worked with Unreal or other engines. So like compile. I'll check Facebook, see if there's any questions. There we go. So should be, what was it right here? There we go. Now we're in another scene here. Now this test scene here is just was me fixing collisions. Close that now. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one here. I was just showing you guys how to make that. I already have the other one set up. Okay, so got a character movie. We have them switching scenes. I'm gonna test game. I want you to like test it and have them walk in and out through different scenes. I should have done that, with how the scenes, but filing takes a bit. So when you are making a game, you always want to have a task list down. I should have started with this. You want to have like a task list of like, or a to-do list of like, this is what I'm going to do for this. So try, going in and just going off your head, but we have a set list in our head. Okay, I want my character to move. I want them to switch scenes. I want them to attack things and pick up items. So that also involves creating enemies. So here you go. I'm like, switch scenes. I'm going to go to this way. Here's that arrow again. There we go. Down here. And I'm going to go back. Oh, I can go back to different scenes. Now, when I go back, it spawns me up here. That's because in our second scene, we have our character start here. We could add in like some type of event where It tells you if I exited the scene, spawns my character right here instead of up there, but that takes a bit extra time. So I can go up here and it spawns me over the starting position there. And if you look at this little thing in the top here, this doesn't go anywhere. It's supposed to be like a fireplace, but just kept it as this so far. Okay, close that. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to add some animation, like we want to do attacking, but when we attack, we need some type of animation that looks like we're attacking, because if we add attack in right now, without any animations, we're going to be confused, like, why isn't this doing damage now? We need to give ourselves a little bit of feedback first before the animation. I mean, some people do the other way, where we add the attack first and then have a print statement showing that they're attacking or not attacking, and then they add animation. That's the traditional way to do it. But here we're just going to do the animation first so we can see that we're attacking or not. So we're going to go back to our actor player. I'm going to go to events here. And then we are going to do button press for attack here. So I'm going to add an event. Click add event. And I'm going to do a button. Here you go. Rename the event. Rename. I'm going to name this attack left. Left. Actually, attack press. I'm going to name it. Make sure this is right. Yep. Attack press. And then you can add an event. Input, keyboard, rename, attack, release. Apply. So on attack press, I'm going to choose control, do action 1. Now, if you're wondering how to change your keys in your project, you go up to settings right here. And under settings, there's a group called controls. Click on that. And you can add controls to here. So I can click add a control, give it a key, like, so I click on it, I can type a key, Y, names it there, and I can give it a name, like attack, or action 1, action 2, various stuff. Just gonna close that for now. Stencyl defaults arrow keys and 2 actions of Z and X, and enter, for like their basic keys, but you can actually change them. Like I can click down right here and change it to S, for WASD, the standard, movement in the games, WASD. But I'm just keeping it the standard. But if you're wondering how to do that, that's how you would change the keys. Yeah. So now I'm in attack press, action 1, which is Z, I believe. Go back to controls. Just forget what something is. You got some different controls. Yep, action 1 Z. We want to change our animation when we press the key. So I'm just going to click switch animation here. To go up parents, you see attack right and attack left. I'm going to do attack right. Here we go. I'm going to type attack right. And then when I release the key, so switch control, choose control. I switch to attack release on the left side. Action 1. There you go. Press to release. Switch to animation. I'm going to switch it to idle right for right now. There's a bunch more stuff we could add to here. Switching to idle right. Escape. Filing. When you make a project in Stencyl, you gotta set some time out. Well, when it comes to game development, you gotta set some time out to like do the stuff, and you get faster as you keep, trying it out. Loading. Okay. So Z is my action key, and when you press it down, you notice the animation only plays once, and that's it. And I let go, it resets it back. I see the animation move a little bit, but it's working. Now, as you notice, oops, when I change directions, it's still attack right. I'm pressing left and I'm still attacking to the left here. I need to change that and close that here. Okay, so first thing first, I want to point out something with the jump animation, attack animation. You notice it only happens once when I press the key down. That's by design. You can have it repeat if you want to press the button down. You have to go and go. I was thinking like, playing a game, you slash the sword, pressing A multiple times to keep slashing and slashing and slashing, instead of you press the button down and keep slashing forever. Yeah, multiple button presses there. But as a designer, you could have it either way you want. It depends on your decision here. I just set it to not, repeat here. By doing that, I could program something where it makes me sure that only happens once, but this time, instead, if you go to attack left and attack right here, I just turn off looping. And what that means is that when it loops, the animation plays ever and ever and ever and ever until whatever stops it. So here, there's a little thing under animation. Click on the animation, it says looping. There's a little check mark next to it. If I check it, it loops forever. If I uncheck it, it doesn't loop. If I go to walk right, it is looping because I want the animation to play over and over again. So here, I just stop the animation, have it play once. That's it. So people press the key over and over again to get things going. So now I'm going to go back to events, and now we're going to have the different directions. To do that, we think about what you want to do. Think, okay, I want my character to change animation if they face this way. Now I just used a word there, if. If is conditional, and it's part of Stencyl's little flow in most programming. So click on flow, right side here, click conditions, there's an if right here. Just dragging it in. So we want to think about, so if I face this way, then do this. So if statements is a lot of like game development right there. It's mostly ifs methods. There's a few other things too, but a lot of it's ifs. So if I press this, do this. If I go to this door, do this. If I cross this region, go to the next scene. It's various things like that. Or when. Could be a when instead of when while loop. But I know a lot of it's if. So think about if like I'm facing this way, we're going to switch to this. So we're going to check for the current animation. Now with if statements, they usually are paired up with if parentheses, if x equals 0 parentheses. So here we're going to grab equal sign. So under flow, scroll down, comparisons, grabbing an equal sign here, dragging it. And now we got to think some things about our animations. So I'm going to grab actors, draw, current animation, and then switch animation in here. Current animation for self. We're dragging to the first bubble. It's kind of hard to place it. Like I have to drag over. It kind of highlights a little bit. It's hard to see. It's just kind of difficult to place things in here. And so I want to think this through. So if my character is facing right and I press the key down, switch to attack animation, my character is left, and I press the key down, do the left facing animation. So with current animation equals self is facing the right side. It might be reversed on the screen. I'm going to type walk right. I'm walking right. I'm going to switch animation to attack right. And I need to do, let's test this first. I'm going to grab this right here, drag it away, and test it. Okay, so normally we want to switch things. You want to do one thing at a time and make sure it works so you know where things are broken. But for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and do all the different directions already. So I'm just going to right click on here. It's like, think about, I need this thing again, but change the little things. You could like drag each thing again here, or I could just duplicate it and change a few things. So my logic here next is, what if I'm not walking right? Like I'm just still only pressing the Z key and my character isn't slashing because nothing here. So I need to do a case for when I'm walking right and when my character is just standing facing the right. So I'm going to do idle, right. That switches to attack, right. You drag in here, it fits in there. I click this one, duplicate. Oh, I duplicated both. That works. And now I'm going to do one for left side. Backspace, left. Backspace on this, left. Backspace on the right, left. Changing this to left. Now, that's about it for that. Right there, there we go. Now, I'm going to do the same for release. So I'm going to right click on this, copy, put a left release here. Sorry, attack release, not left release, attack release, and do the same thing. But we got to change some words in here. Oh, I have this all for attack release. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go over here, grab this, drag it over, and paste the set, attach it to here, go back to release, and fix some things here. So you might have to switch back and forth here. Okay, good. So this way it's opposite. Think about what you're doing. So this is release. I want the animation to stop. So I need to switch all these. If current animation is attacking, switch it to walking or idle when I release the key. So now I have to switch all of these. Back right. Back left. There is a little bit more setup we have to do. I'm gonna look out of this one. I will test and show you guys what's gonna happen here. On, there we go. Fine. How are we doing this one? So facing right, doing idle right. Back left is idle left. These over here. I'm only doing idle here. You might be noticing that. I'm going to test it. Test all of the things working. I just want to point it out. It's only facing idle left and idle right. Now, compiling, it's thinking. Here we go. So now I'm pressing key. It's only going once, but if I press it, you notice my character just walks. Again, it's kind of hard to see, but my character's just walking. Like the animation's not playing at all. The walk is not playing at all when I'm going back and forth. Going this way. Press the key. And my character isn't walking. Animation works. There we go. And close that. So we need to do something here. We need to make it where if our character is facing right and not moving, they're attacking and facing the right way and not moving, switch to the idle right animation. If they're facing left and they're moving, switch to walk left animation after done attacking. So we have a lot of setup to do. A lot of ands to set up here. So, got to equal here. We need to go back to flow and grab this and here. I'm going to work with our right side and left side for when we want to stand still. I'm going to grab two ands actually. You'll see why. So I'm going to grab this right here and drag it in. So this is the case if x equals 0 and y equals 0, do this, but this is only happening when both of those things equal 0. This is just an extra case, not speed. So this is with our character is moving right and we're not, and our character isn't moving. Sorry, if our character is attacking right and our character is not moving, switch to the idle. So I'm gonna put it right here for and remember we have an up, down, and left. They have an up and like up, down, left, and right movement. So we need to grab the x speed. So we're gonna go to motion here, x of actor. And then another x of actor. We're going to flow. You grab the equal sign. Actually, it's going to be in there. Yep, there it is. Equals. 2 equals. There's a lot of setup here. Equal. Drag it in. Drag this in. Oops. There you go. And we're just typing the number 0 into here. So if our speed, x speed and y speed of self equals 0, put in these ands in here, So their X and Y equals 0, and we're attacking, or animation's attacking right, then switch to idle right when the button press is released. I'm just adding all that stuff there and dragging it in. There we go. So now we got this long line for right there. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to drag this out again. I'm going to duplicate it because we're going to do the same thing for the other direction. Here we go. So I'm going to type left, that one, and grab this right here, deleting it, grabbing here, there we go. And escape. Filing. Loading, loading. Okay, so I'm facing right, press Z, and my character's not walking afterwards when I'm lifting the key. I'm gonna face left, press the key, attacks, let go, and my character isn't walking. It's back to idle there. Now if I walk this way, press the key, and let go, nothing's happening. I'm gonna start from here. This is a longer path, so face this way, oops. Face this way, press key, go, key, there you go, my character's not moving. Well, they're moving physically, but there's no animation of them walking. So when you fix that, you only get the idle thing working. So this one's a little bit different. So our current animation is attack right. Let's say it's attacking right. And if our X speed and Y speed is greater than 0, then we want to switch to walk right. Now, why I'm saying Y is going to be greater, right now it's equal, but I'm just switching this to greater over here. For the right, how would I know which one's what? Okay, so as X, if X is a positive number, it's going to the right. If Y is a positive number, it's going down. Our down animation is just our right animation. Now, we don't need them both to be positive. It could be an or. So if you go to flow, right here, you see there's an or. Luckily, I already have a set of code here. I just pasted it. I'm going to keep this on the screen for a little bit so you know what to copy. So this is for walking left. If current animation of itself equals walk left and a bunch of groupings of X speed of self, this is for walking left. So as we go left, our X is going negative. As we go up, our Y is going negative. So as X speed of self is less than 0, negative, or Y speed of self less than 0. This is an or instead of and. You look up here, see it's an and. This is an or, because this could be cases where it's either both or just if one of them meets the condition of being like a negative number, then we're okay switching walk left. They don't have to be true to be here. Over here with both of these being 0, it has to be true for this to set up this way. I'm just dragging it in. And then I'm gonna paste this again. There we go. And I wish there's a way if I can click on here, just switch it to the other way for its positive. I'm just gonna delete this one. I'm pasting it just to save on time, but I kept it on the screen for you. You know, later on if you wanna watch this video, you can pause it. There we go. You can pause it and then like copy it over and follow along that way. You have to go this way, that's just the end cap. Let me go over here. That. Copy. And here's the other one for positive, for walking right. So that's why I have the animation set up where up is facing left and down is facing right animation. So these numbers are easier to code instead of having this weird thing where if X is greater than 0, but Y is less than 0, I just have the same direction. So if we're going right, animation equals attack right, and if X speed is greater than 0, or if Y speed is greater than 0, switch to the walk right animation. So I'm gonna play here. We just have animations there. There's still quite a bit more we need to do for creating a game here. Luckily, we were able to go a little bit over time because it's being recorded, and you guys can always like watch it all the way through. Yeah, we still need to add the enemies, taking damage, doing damage, and death for resetting the game and such. Here you go. So now we got a character walking back forward. Now with a hold Z, I'm walking right. If I press it, I'm walking right and I press it. Oops, I accidentally hit the Windows key. I press it, my character switch back. There's that error again. A character switch back to the walking animation. Going down, pressing it. Yep, and they're switching back. So now we're down animations. Now, right now, this attack does nothing. It just changes looks. That's it. That's what we're doing. Now you think, okay, I need something to test with damage now to see if I'm taking damage or doing damage. We need another character to do that, or thing, could be spikes or something. But we still need another actor to test this. So we need to create an actor. So luckily you already have the actor created. If you go to dashboard, actor types, you see there's one called enemy. I'm gonna double click on that one. And here you already see that we have all the animations in here. If I go to behavior and events, there's nothing here because we need to add them. So we need something, like think about what do we need an actor for enemy. We need a thing for like some type of animation where it's just kind of wandering around, you know, walking. Maybe when my character enters the scene, you immediately start facing them and going towards my character, my player, just to attack them. I'm going to create two different enemy types here. I'm going to have like an easy enemy that's just kind of walking around wandering, doing nothing, and then a harder enemy that like faces you and attacks you or tries to like block your path or something. Well, this one's just kind of wandering around, not really doing anything. Just a little teaching thing. When we're making games, we want to make your game more difficult over time. So we're going to start with this easy enemy. Later switch to a harder enemy. Think about Mario. When you first start, there's that Goomba. Doesn't really go after you or anything. Just kind of walks doing its own thing. Versus like the bosses, they go after you, face you, and try to attack you. Okay. So here, under behavior, we're just going to add behaviors under behavior, because with Stencyl, we don't have to code everything if it already has it. Why spend all that extra time coding something unless there's something wrong with it? So with our walking, it's great, but we want to switch to attack animation, and with that four-way movement, if you try to do an attack animation with four-way movement always supersedes attack, so I won't switch to attack animation at all. It's just yeah, it was too much to work with. So I'm like, okay, I'll make movement for everything then myself, so I can have control of my animations. But here for the other things, we're just gonna do whatever I want. So click on Add Behavior, and under Add Behavior, I'm gonna go to, I believe it's under Game. No, Motion. Motion, yeah. So under Motion, this one case it's like I never remember where this thing is again. You can always search for it on the upper right. But here, so I'm under Motion. Oh, a little tidbit here. Sometimes the search in Stencyl doesn't work depending on the version. I think they just forget to update their search every time they update the engine. So sometimes it does that. So yeah, that's why I always have to click through here to try to find it. But I'm under here. I'm gonna go to Motion, Wonder, Add. So now I have like all these settings for how I want them to walk around. So yeah, minimum speed, they're moving. Maximum speed set, so they can start out slow or being really fast. And I have a little number for minimum number acting keeps them moving before waiting. Maximum time the actor keeps on moving before waiting. So 2 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 second wait time, 2 seconds. Movement for various things. I'm gonna have them move for 3 seconds. So this here is just design stuff. You can put whatever numbers you want here or the speed you want it at. Just how you like it for your game. Could be a fast character or a slow character, you know, just depends on how you want it. And after that, you have to start with waiting. You know, start waiting before the moving. And then they can have it change direction when colliding. If selected, the actor will change the movement direction when colliding. So whenever they hit a wall, they change the opposite direction. If unselected, the actor would try to move into that kind of direction. So you ever played a game where the character's just walking a wall and stuck there? This is what they don't have. They don't have something where you change direction when they're colliding something else. There you go. So another thing to do before we test this, we need to add our character to our scene. So I'm gonna go to dashboard. I'm gonna go scenes. My home is gonna be empty, but my outside home is gonna have my enemies. So I'm gonna go to actors, enemy, and I'm just gonna place like, oops, I'm not in the right layer. Yeah, there you go. So there's layers on the right side that I set things on. The like second from the top one's usually the one with our actors on. So I'm just gonna add my character there, add my character there. Go, and then test game. Oh, sorry, I should have done testing. Of course I'm gonna walk out, but if you wanna test something faster at a different level or something, click test scene instead of test game under your scene to sample that thing first instead of being the beginning of the game. Just so you can test things faster. Like, what if you have like 100 levels and you want to test level 99? Of course you have to like, you have it from your test from the beginning, you have to like go through a whole game until you get there. Unless you have like some special debug keys where you press a button and switches that scene, but most time you don't. Most time people do test for that. But here I'm at home. Going now. Going down here. Now if you're wondering why I can move out and walk around a little bit, it's because my fade time is really slow. But it's good it is. Okay, here's my characters moving, but their animations aren't turning. There's that error again. There you go. Oh, my character just rotated as it touched me. That's something I need to fix. They're rotating and sliding around. So this is a bunch of stuff we need to fix here. Yeah. And close that. And of course my character's not getting hurt when I touch the other one. So for the animation part, I'm not going to go through all the different sides of the animation, but I can show you a little bit. So I'm only going to show you one side. So I need to go to enemy, go to event here. And then I need to add event. So instead of being based off a key, you got to figure out, okay, I'm not really controlling my character, but when my character does this, I want them to do this. I'm going to do this based off their X speed. So when updating is just, when the game is running over time. I'm going to do when updating, if. So if my character is doing this, do that. It's going to be the same thing as the other. So I'm going to actors, and then I'm going to go to X speed of actor. And of course, I'll have to do all the different directions. I'm going to test for the right direction. So I'm going to go back to flow, do greater sign. There you go. So if speed of self is greater than 0, switch to another animation. So actors, draw, not motion draw, switch animation there. I'm going to go back to appearance, see different animations. So when they're facing, like when the speed of X is greater than 0, I'm going to switch it to walk right. Event. Make sure, gotta go back, what's the spelling? Okay, no capitalization, good. So walk right. There we go. Now I'm gonna go back to outside home, scene, test scene. So I test from here instead of from the beginning. And again, like for all the different sides, you have to do something like if your character is less space, if X is less than 0, then you make them face left. And if they're not moving at all, make them stay still in this direction based on which way of what. That's a lot of like if, ands, ors in there if you want to set that up. But there we go. Oh, looks like now it's going to start at the beginning. Oh well. Now go here. The characters are facing that direction. They're moving around. Here you go. Now I could have it set it where it changes directions when they're walking one way versus the other. But I'm not going to do that. I mean, we can, but that's up to you guys to want to do that. To set all directions. It takes a bit of time. So now there's that rotating problem. We're going to go to physics for our character. And we go to physics. There's all these different properties for general, heavy, material, damping, all this other stuff. We're going to stick to just general. There's a little thing right here that says, can it rotate? No. It's affected by gravity. No, because there's no gravity in this game. I'm going to go back to player, go to physics. Can it be rotated? No. It's affected by gravity? No. Then it's already set. I did that earlier. Okay. So now we need to do our next step here. We got our enemies in there. They're kind of walking around. I'm going to go back to behavior over here. I'm going to add behavior. And I need to add behavior that says cannot exit scene. Oh, I'm looking for one that's called cannot exit scene. There it is, cannot exit scene. I'm adding that. Just default. Oh, nope, that's not the one I wanted. That's not my character. If you want to remove behavior, just click the minus sign on the bottom left. On an enemy, behavior, add behavior, cannot exit scene, so they don't wander off the screen, off into infinity. And we don't have anything set up for when they go into a region, they enter another room. Okay, so now we can start doing our damage setup here. So taking damage, we want to make sure our character takes damage first. So I'm going to go to player, I'm going to behavior, because there's already a behavior for this. It's called health manager. Health manager, I think it's under rules. No. Game. Candy, utilities. Health manager, nope. I should have written down which tab it was in. It shouldn't be under motion. Oh, it's right there in rules, health manager. There we go, choose. So we want to add health. You could go the other route, programming it out, but it already has a whole thing over here for us. Now it's a health bar. You probably have to do some extra programming to change it to like hearts and such. Now this health manager displays health over a character or something else. So here, no, change it to 3. You can set up the settings how you want it, how you want to design it. Now, I'm just going to have this little 0 health action, kill actor. I'm not going to do anything with healed and damage. There's sound effects you can add in. I'm not going to deal with that because I'm not doing anything with them. And you can have it where they spawn a different actor after they die, or like Mario get hit a certain amount of times, turns into a smaller character, or you have an animation for damage or such. Now when I scroll down, I get to this part here where it's all these different colors. Here's a little health bar, 100. Our character is really tiny, so I'm going to switch it to 20 for the width. There we go. And I'm going to keep my character at 3 hits and such. I'm going to go to enemy. And under enemy, I'm going to add health manager. Now this is my easy enemy, so 1. It's going to be thing there. Kill actor, we go to 0. Let's scroll down, draw a health bar. Ooh, I forgot to change the draw location, but drawing location, I'm gonna do actor space, horizontal, switch this to 20. Going back to my player, drawing location, actor space, horizontal. There we go. And then we got our health manager in there, but we need to do something where our actor takes damage. So if we go to player, I'm already on player here, so we're good there. Gonna go to events. And we need to do something when we hit another group, we take damage. Now, if I have multiple enemies, I need to, I think this through. I need it to, if I have multiple different items in me, maybe all these type of enemies do damage to my character. And I don't want to program for each enemy there is. I want to program for one enemy. So if I go to settings on here, and then I go to groups here, I can name a group called enemies to make it that the reference to them. So I can make a collision where my character overlaps this character of this group, all of them do damage. So create new, and just name it enemies. Create, and they collide with players. They do collide with some tiles. Checking over there. They collide with players, actors, tiles. They don't really do anything when they hit each other. So I'm gonna leave that one blank. I click OK. Now I'm on my player. Add an event. Add event. Collision. Collision of member of group. Click on that. So when self, it's an actor of choose group. Enemies, there's our enemies group right there. It will take damage. Now we could go through game attributes and add this whole thing about taking enemies, but our health manager is the one that does damage. If you go to custom, right here, usually this will be empty, but we added the thing for health and stuff. And since we added health manager, it adds all the stuff down here. Health manager right over here. Events for player, health manager, all the stuff is right in here. So we need to damage the actor. I'm gonna go under health manager, I have an extra thing for events for players. So I'm just gonna go down to health manager, damage actor, switches itself by 1 as we collide. And the health manager itself, usually in video games where if you're doing this stuff, you wanna make sure when you're colliding, it only deals damage once. And that's it. Because if you don't have that set up, your character would keep taking damage and they just die instantly. The health manager has it set up. Let me go to behaviors here where it doesn't do that. You click on this, scroll all the way up, edit behavior. You can see the code through edit behavior. Health, and there's all this stuff here. Checking. There's questions? Nope. Yep, there's all the stuff here about invincibility, if we get hurt for a little bit, it lasts for a certain amount of time, and there's death, all that stuff there. So we can go ahead and test game. And again, usually we'll test one thing at a time, but for sake of time, we're not doing that. Usually that's what we want to do, test everything you add in there so you know if something goes wrong, where to go. Okay, here am I. Got a little health green bar now. That's my little health bar. There's my little actors. Oh, okay, there's one thing we forgot to do. Kinda forgot to do it. Yeah, so go to enemy, go to properties, and at the bottom there's a thing that says group actors. Change it to enemies. We forgot to change their group type. So nothing's happening because we don't have anything called enemy group in there yet. Okay, we just have a little bit more to add and we're done. There you go, walking through. Here's my character, and there we go, it took some damage. Took some damage again. Oh, and I'm gone because my character died. That's all in there for part of the health manager. There's that security issue again. There we go. Okay, so now we take damage. We want to deal damage to them, to our enemies. So we could, there's multiple ways to do this. There is no behavior for doing damage. So we have to code it ourselves through the health manager. We could do something where we make a weapon, we attach it to our actor. There's this whole thing about Stencyl in that. We could do when a certain button press at a certain time when we're colliding, do damage, or we can do damage by collisions. That's what we're going to do here. So under player here, I'm going to collision. And then on attack left and attack right, this is where you can add your collision box, just in case they do huge box. You're just like, why is my character getting hurt when nothing's near it? Could be because the collision box is huge. And you can add it for the little right side here, current shape. We're gonna add a collision here for our little weapon. I just zoomed in here, got a little weapon right here. I'm gonna add a box. I'm gonna name it weapon. And click OK, I can add all this stuff there. There's that bigger box. I'm gonna make it, so there's X position for left and right, and width and height. We'll change it to 16 by, no. I'm trying to think of my weapon here. Yes, I'm gonna change it by 10 by 10. I'm like looking back at the numbers that I had before. And then the X position, 22, 15. There you go. There it is on there. And then it says physical properties. Is it a sensor? Yes. I'm going to group. We're going to add a group. Edit groups. I'm going to create a new group. We're going to call it weapon. Great. And it collides with enemies. That's it. I'm just checking back if that's what I did. Yep, just collides with enemies. That's it. It could collide with things, maybe like treasure chests and I break them open stuff. Just gonna keep it as enemies. Here we go. I'm gonna do the same thing with the left side here, but a different spot. I'm gonna add a box and call it weapon. Make it 10 by 10. And bring it 9. The X, 14. For the Y. Maybe I want to bring it a little bit more to the left. Maybe, let's bring back to 0. Here we go. Change the width here to 15. So it goes into my actor just a little bit. It's kind of hard to do with the facing right. Now let's do 12. There we go. There we go. I got a little weapon there. It's a sensor. And I'm going to add this to the weapon group. There we go. And now we need that weapon to deal damage. We have to do that through collisions. So I'm going to go back to my player events here. I'm going to add an event collision. I'm going to do group and group here. So when this actor group, choose type weapon. So our weapon collision box, its actor, choose group, enemies. And that weapon collision only shows up for attacking. That's why we have it there for attacking right and left. So it shows up. There's so many different ways to deal damage attacking. I just chose it that way because it was easier for me to think it through that way. Could, of course, someone come up with like a much better version of that. But I'm just keeping it that way. So I am gonna do something here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna custom. That's where we wanna go. We wanna deal damage. So deal damage right here, actor, by 1. Now when we do a collision with a group and we choose references, this little blue little things right here is our actor references. When we create actors in here, they're not gonna be references under the actor tabs on the right side there, ever. But when we do an event, it creates a little reference for us. I'm gonna grab that little thing. This is X-Second actor, editor, damage actor when. And the thing is, sometimes I accidentally take damage. I could fix the collision box a little bit more, have it when attacking the other character can't do damage to my character. But, you know, for time's sake, I'm just gonna have it, you know, heal my character by 1. So heal actor, grab this, self, by 1. It's not gonna heal my weapon, it's gonna heal my character. There we go. So now we got dealing damage and taking damage. Now we only have one thing left to do after this, and that is to create a harder enemy. Oh, 2 things, harder enemy and to reset the game after we die. And then we're done. Smiling. Waiting for that error to come up. Attack, attack. Oh, my character's gone. It's only 1 HP. Oh, yeah, that's a little thing I should fix. And when I'm attacking, we also just do the thing where we just set our invisibility right there when we're attacking. True. That's another thing. The invisibility is for like when you're attacking, you don't want to deal damage. So yeah, when we're attacking, visibility is true. Wait, no, that's not set up right. It should be under. That should be under the press event. Okay, I'm gonna go through the attack press, set invisibility true, attack release, set invincibility to false. Oh, I'm forever invisible now. Yeah, that's the way set up. But yeah, there we go. We got our character's attack. Okay, I'm just gonna for now keep it to kill actor. Why? For now. But of course, I go through setup, but just for time's sake, I'm gonna keep it that way. Okay, so we now have last 2 things to do. I'm gonna go to enemy, no, dashboard, actor types, right-click an enemy, duplicate. I'm gonna rename it to harder enemy. There we go. If I double click on this, you'll see their behaviors. We got the same behaviors. I'm gonna delete Wonder. Go to Health Manager. Their HP is 3, so they're harder. There we go. So we need to be able to tell our enemies different. We could just do different, character animation and such. But for the sake of this game, just for me to tell the difference, I'm just gonna do a thing when drawing, and then I'm gonna go to actors. I think it's under effects. Nope, drawing. I'm just gonna apply an effect. Type apply effect. Oops. Searching for it. There it is. Apply effect for actor. During this is just the self. I'm gonna draw. Oh, delete all this text and then go to draw. No, actors, effects, tint. Here it is. And I'm gonna tint it, choose color, red for 0.15%. There you go. That's just for it to change the color, a slightly different color. Okay, so now we're doing the thing where we want our character, I'm gonna delete that little image part, our character to move towards other character. Now for sake of time, I'm just gonna copy it, explain it, have on the screen so you guys can pause it. Okay, so there's a tool right here called Push Self. I go to Actors, go to Motion. There's this thing called Force. Push actor gently towards this direction. Push actor gently towards this degree and stuff. So this little thing is going to push my actor towards something else on my screen. So it's going to push self sharply at a force of 0.02. Could change the numbers there. Towards blank minus x speed of self blank. So the right direction. I want these little blanks to be my player's x and y. So push myself directly towards my player's direction. But when I do that, I need to make sure I'm not adding my x and y to my player's location. So it's player x, player y minus x of my harder enemy and the y of my harder enemy. So it goes towards that direction instead of adding a bunch of things here. Now to add my player's direction, if I go to actors, I could add things in here, but it's not going to be under actors. I could create an event that goes to it, but that's not where player is. What we're going to do instead is called creating a variable or attribute ourselves. So to do that, I am going to go to updating now, click check mark there. Wait, I could, if you don't have drawing, could add event adding when updating, sorry, not when drawing, delete this one. When drawing, delete, I'm gonna add event when updating. There it is. Here. Okay. So game attributes are attributes of different values that we can add in. So if you have a score, you can create a score, make it a text attribute with a number of it. And what the making game attribute does is that it gets little things where, just leave a little animation in there right now because I was tossing something else in there. I didn't delete it. But we have little attributes where I can grab this and I can set numbers to that or make things true, false, and that to current numbers and stuff. Now, attributes are just like names for different things. So I create an attribute, it refers to like a type of actor, a list of names. So for our animations, we could have made it as a type of, if I go to create attribute type, I could name it as a image. There it is, like an image and such. You give it the exact name of actor, like tag left and tag right, and drag those in into the spots right there, but it doesn't set any numbers and stuff. Game attributes sets numbers and other stuff like that. Attributes refers to our little objects, or game attributes refer to like things that carry numbers and other data. So go and create when updating. We need to set two attributes that our harder enemy can refer to. So I'm going to create an attribute, name it player. Sorry, I sneezed. The player X. I'm going to keep it just 0 right now. It's a number. You set as a text, Boolean, list, map. You have a category, so I'm going to set it at 0. There we go. I'm going to create another game attribute, name it Y, keep it 0, and such, and we get these two things here. I'm going to put these two here, set player X, set player Y, grab actors, and set these to the actual, go to position X of my character, Y of my character. There we go. So now we got a harder enemy. Go to game attributes. Oh, there we go. Player X and player Y. Their Y position. I should have renamed it like maybe Y and X, but there. So you got the direction of towards a player X minus our own direction towards direction of our Y minus our own direction. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go to dashboard, scene. I'm gonna go to danger zone. That's our last place that we visit. And go to actors and add our harder enemy in there. And then test game. And after this, we just need to add our last little special effects in there and resetting the game. Actually, no, I'm just gonna, this last thing here, we don't have enough time for special effects and collecting items like I said at the beginning. We're just gonna set it to when our actor is killed, change the scene or restart the game. But you could add stuff where when we attack, or when our player gets attacked, it makes our character like flicker, or the character flashes red. You can always do stuff like that. There's a little thing called flicker you can add too. So there's my characters just wondering. Oh, I accidentally touched that one little. And oh, there they are. They're flying back and forth. Oh, there's my error again. Oh, there we go. I'm getting attacked. And there we go. These are more difficult enemies and they go towards you. Works perfectly. Okay. So now we're going to do our last thing here. I'm going to go to player, add event, and I'm trying to remember the name of this event. So I click add event, actors. There's actually a specific, yep, there we go. There it is. So go add event, add actors. There's an event for when character is created or die. So I'm gonna do specific actor, gonna be self, is, killed, and oh, when they're killed, I want to change scene. Stop being on the scene folder. I'm gonna switch to scene, game flow, switch to scene. I'm gonna switch to home. But honestly, when I'm killing, I want to do something like reload scene. I can because I want to reset the game and stuff, but I'm just gonna switch to switch scene for now. But we usually just wanted to reload the game, so it resets like values and stuff. I want, like, our health would be back to normal, but we're gonna just switch to home scene. I have it fade out for 0.1, fade back in 0.1. That's game. There we are. Oh, no. I also could, make the lava area I can get hurt. Oh, there we go. Reloaded. There's that error again. The security issue. So there's something about the meridian here. There's some things we need to fix here. What we need to fix? We need to set enemies, but otherwise we're done here. I'm just gonna do one last thing here. Properties, set you. Good. Get to enemies. And then when I go to player, when actor group of weapon collides with enemies, oops. Damage second actor by 1. Will self by 3. Just making it set again. I could just go through and set it where I'm invincible while I attack for a little bit, so I don't have to imaging, or not do collision box thing, or do something set up. Just depends how you set it up. Here. So we gotta fix our bugs there. But if you want to keep continuing this project here, you could add like special effects when you take damage. You can have an intro screen, an end screen, and such, and make it really your own. And like a lot of the games are like not that great until they're 90% done when they got all their special effects in, things that feel good. What is happening here? I just want to fix this one thing here. You guys don't have to have issues as you follow along. Oh, I know. I don't have this right property type for my player set. That will help. Because you go to settings, weapons only attacks enemies, enemy attacks players. Not gonna take that. Oh, enemies collides with weapon. You don't want them to collide with weapon. You don't let them collide with player. There we go. Oh, you can also add sound effects and stuff to make it your own. Still something wrong here. I'm gonna go to the health. Yeah, we're just trying to fix this one last thing here. Oh. Something that I pulled. Yes, because I pulled from the wrong one. Oh. Right, my game didn't save when I went ahead and tested it. I don't know if that's the issue. But I'm going to go ahead and go to player, events, and I'm going to just turn off the event where I take damage. Well, my player takes damage. Filing. Oh, I'm being pushed. Okay. We got a physics problem here. Cannot be moved, cannot be rotated, not affected by gravity. Normal, not can't be rotated, not affected by gravity. Okay. Health manager. I'm gonna bring this one up here. Settings, enemies. Okay, I'm gonna go to player. No behaviors, no events. So when self hits an actor of enemies, damage self by 1. Or group. When weapons hits an actor of enemies, damage second actor. There. There you go. Damage, damage. I'm dealing damage to them. Okay. Nope, it works now. Um, oh, that's why. Forgot to set the kill actor on the other one. Okay, well, there we go. Got a working game. Custom it as you want. Otherwise, if you guys have any questions, email us hello@dspace.org. Thank you very much for coming to or watching this video or webinar, and have a good night, everyone.